Experiencias académicas, culturales y personales compartidos por estudiantes internacionales en el TEC de Monterrey.
I like that.
Welcome to the space in which students from all over the world share their exchange experiences with us. Una visión única de quienes llegan a nuestro país y la travesía de los que se van en busca de una experiencia global.
When I went there,
Esto es Global Connection con Carolina Alcántara. Iniciamos.
Hola y bienvenidos a Global Connection, Conexión Global. Yo soy Carolina Alcántara, International Student Advisor. Y pues en el episodio de hoy voy a hablar en inglés, así que les comento como en otros episodios. Durante el capítulo voy a estar haciendo pequeñas intervenciones donde voy a explicar un poquito sobre lo que estamos hablando en español. Así que quédense al pendiente porque hoy tenemos a dos invitados muy especiales que vienen desde Inglaterra y de Estados Unidos, que nos van a contar un poco sobre su experiencia de ISummer. Les cuento un poco que ISummer es un programa que el TEC de Monterrey tiene durante el verano, como dice su nombre, ISummer, en el cual durante 4 semanas viajan alrededor del país y cada semana van a un destino distinto de acuerdo al programa en el que están. Así que ahorita nos van a contar ellos su experiencia, pero pues ya voy a cambiar ahora sí que a inglés para continuar con el episodio. In today's episode, we will explore the lives of exchange students from the UK and the US. From the universities that they will tell in a moment, we have 2 international students that are doing the ISummer program here at TEC de Monterrey, and currently they're in the 3rd week at Campus Monterrey. And I'm gonna introduce both of them, starting with Emmanuel Airfold. I made a oh god. Oh, did I say it correctly? No, I say the A, right? It's Airfold. Oh God, like, before starting the show, I was asking Emmanuel, can you tell me how to say it correctly? But usually, you know, when we do this kind of episodes, sometimes the last names are a little bit difficult. But hello, Emmanuel, welcome.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Good, and you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Well, it's nice to have you here. And we hope also from the United States, Colin Anderson.
Thank you, Carol. What a nice introduction.
Thank you. Well, welcome. Actually, for all of you that are listening to us right now, you can check our social media later on, and you're going to see a really nice video that we recorded with them. They were super hype. I think it's the first video with the most hype energy that we had in the show, so congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
If we had like winners for people that did like a video with the most hype, I think you would have gotten the star so far.
Congratulations, man.
Well, stay tuned. You're listening to Global Connection in Tech Sounds Radio.
Crónicas de un intercambio. La experiencia de vivir en México. Chronicles of an exchange.
So we're back. Regresamos con Crónicas de un intercambio, Chronicles of an exchange. And in this part of the show, it's usually students talk about their experience in Mexico. But first of all, like, tell us a little bit about where are you from? I mean, I already told that you're from the UK and the US, but like from what university, what degree you're currently studying?
Hi everyone, my name is Emmanuel Airfold. I am from London. I study at Queen Mary University of London and I study aerospace engineering.
Oh wow, interesting. We have an engineer here.
Okay. I'm Colin Anderson. I'm from the University of Cincinnati, and I'm part of the Lindner Business Honors Program there, which is a very selective program at the university, and it's some of the top business students. Currently, I'm studying business analytics, which is a focus on data. I'm doing a little bit of finance and a certificate in business Spanish, which I've been able to practice a little bit with here.
Well, we have 2 really nice profiles and really different. I think it's nice because like the business perspective, the engineering perspective, and we have in the cabin also like other international students that are watching.
Sebastian and Elena, Eric. Shout out to you,
an
Eric.
International Student Advisor as well. And well, what made you decide to study abroad, and specifically what made you choose the ISummer program in TEC de Monterrey?
Well, for me, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I've never really traveled to countries before. My first trip ever was actually to Belgium like a month ago. And specifically for the ISummer program, it was an opportunity my university was offering. And so it was an entry point into traveling to a different continent entirely. So, and then I researched tech as well. I saw the standards that you guys hold. And I was very interested and intrigued.
And what about you, Colin?
In March, I was lucky enough to come with University of Cincinnati and that honors program. They do a really cool thing in the first year where they come down and do a whole class trip for spring break. And we were lucky enough to come to Querétaro, where we were staying and we were learning the language and exploring different businesses. And there was one of the days where we came to TEC de Monterrey and the Querétaro campus. And for a little bit, we were with the international programs office. And they were talking to us about the ISummer program that they were going to be doing in the summer. And I was talking to my friend. I said, hey, we should really do this. This is actually seems like a super cool opportunity. I mean, there's not many other years in your life that you're going to be able to come as a useful person to Mexico and see all of these special cities, which I'd never even been to before. The only one I'd been to at that point was Querétaro. And I thought this is a great way to get some real out-of-country experience in the classroom and see what that is sort of like, and also just getting to explore the love that I have for the Mexican culture.
And what has been your experience so far?
You want to start?
Oh, yeah. There's so much that we've done. It's been absolutely fantastic. We arriving to Mexico, to going into the hotels. Once I arrived, actually, because I was born in Nigeria and then moved to the UK eventually. Once I arrived, I felt a sense of belonging because it's so similar to my home country, especially in terms of, I'm not sure if I should be saying this, but a bit of the chaos in Mexico and the roads, the traffic, the weather as well. Yeah, the heat. Yeah, I was like, it feels like I'm home. So, so that was my first impression. And of course, I've met so many lovely people. Mexicans are in general are quite nice to interact with, especially given that I don't speak Spanish as much. So if I want to practice a bit of my Spanish, they are more than willing to help me.
Yeah. You're definitely getting better, so don't count yourself out.
Thank you, Colin.
And I think my experience so far has been really amazing, and all of the people that have welcomed me here from all the different international offices have been super nice. But I think one of the coolest memories that I'll have is never having come to Mexico City before. On the flight here, flew in from Dallas, and right as we were getting close to the airport, we flew over Santa Fe, saw the base there, and then I saw Estadio Aztecas from the sky next to the Plaza de Toros, and I thought, wow, this is just an incredible experience, which I didn't even know I'd be really coming to before March. And I think the way that everyone has made me feel very comfortable, as well as the teachers being able to understand and provide you the opportunities and really guide you along a path of learning with a bunch of different people from different countries. I mean, me and another person named Blake are the only people that are from the United States, which usually isn't a situation that I'm in. So I kind of get to see how a lot of people from Europe and from Asia really go across problem solving. And I think being able to go back to the United States after this and think, how would all of my team members think, is something super special that I don't want to take for granted now.
And well, you're from the US and the UK, and sometimes let's say that it's like saying Mexico and Spain in a way, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think there's certain similarities when it comes to business that you have seen, or are business really different?
Business in the UK versus US, you mean?
Yeah, like from what you have seen so far in classes when you talk.
I'll let Colin start with this one because he's the business expert.
I would say, over here, engineering.
Yeah.
So I think definitely, at least where I'm from, Midwest, which is, I tell everyone, is close to Chicago. I think the way that we talk in business, the Midwest, and I'll give an example, is London. Most people know London. And I'd say the way that they talk is very high context. So they'll not directly say exactly what they want, but they really want to make sure the connection is well, and you're not making anyone super offended with the business that you're conducting. And that's a little different than somewhere, I say, like New York. New York is very like go, 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 and they don't want to be in the office or a meeting for more than an hour at once. So I think that's one of the similarities they have, just the communication style, even though it's almost a completely different language.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we've had conversations like this in the classroom, the difference between how us in the UK interact and do business versus you guys in the US. We try to be, as you said, less offensive to others, but at the same time, very indirect, like almost passive-aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
But still, London is one of the trade hubs of the world. Yeah, so maybe it's working somehow.
So you would say that everyone has its own way, like from the experience that, well, before we continue with this talk, I wanted to ask you, what are the courses that you are taking right now?
So we are taking one massive course that has 2 sub-courses. It's a bit weird to explain, but we have marketing insights, and then we have international business as well.
So that, like, the program is called actually Doing Business in Mexico.
Yes.
And the courses are these 2, marketing insights and international business. Oh, okay, perfect. So yeah, I remember that, like from other experience that I have heard from other ISummer programs, they told me that usually in the classroom, what it's really enriching is knowing how solving problems is done in each country, because maybe you have the same problem, but every person from every country, they're going to have a different perspective, and that way you can have like a toolbox to see how to solve it in a different like way of thinking.
Yeah, I agree. From what we've learned so far, Mexicans have a low context communication style?
I think it's in the middle.
Middle, yeah. Which is very different from what we're used to. But yeah, we're still learning about it, so we don't know all the expert details as of yet. Yeah.
I would say, personally, the group that I'm working with, it's compiled of a bunch of different nationalities, mostly European, but also the other one from the United States is also in my group. And we have, from everyone else, we have someone from Denmark, as well as I can't remember. We have Bulgaria. We have Denmark, and then France, and I'm not sure, but what I've noticed is the French are very flexible people when it comes to doing business. When you are talking to them about the language and the culture, they're very set. But when it comes to business, they are very open to different ideas and different opportunities. So I think that's super interesting. But the part from Denmark, she is half Russian as well. So I think that contributes to a little bit of more direct form of talking. So we are pretty not conflict avoiding people as a group, and we're all willing to challenge each other's ideas, which I think is very nice. That mostly comes from the 2 from the United States. We're very, very skeptical over, I guess, new things. And that's one thing I noticed about working in different groups, is different people react to change in different ways, as well as create new ideas in ways that support the other ideas and create new ones.
Well, I think it's a nice start for the show. So far, I'm gonna give a small wrap up, because we have to be talking about several things, but I'm gonna change to Spanish. But I think it's also important to note that Colin knows Spanish. And
Hola a todos.
So if you wanna do like one of your answers in Spanish, it's also valid, okay? So because I need to do this translation in the middle. Pues para todos los que nos están escuchando, ahorita estamos hablando con 2 alumnos que vienen del ISummer, para los que apenas nos están sintonizando. El ISummer es un programa del Tecnológico Monterrey que durante el verano van a diferentes lugares de México durante 4 semanas para aprender sobre en este caso 2 materias en que engloban el programa en el que están, que es Global Business. Estamos con Colin de Estados Unidos y Emmanuel de UK. Y pues les comento que, por ejemplo, Colin viene de la Universidad de Cincinnati y Emmanuel de Queen Mary University of London. Así que sigan sintonizándonos para que puedan saber un poco más sobre sus experiencias de intercambio, cómo es la vida también que han tenido en sus países, cómo es un intercambio en su país. Y pues están escuchando Global Connection aquí en Tech Sounds Radio.
A miles de kilómetros, descubriendo un mundo de posibilidades. Thousands of kilometers.
Y continuamos con la siguiente sección, donde vamos a hablar un poquito sobre cuál es la experiencia de una persona que busca irse de intercambio a su país. Entonces ellos nos van a hablar un poquito sobre esto. Así que en un momento más hago un pequeño resumen al final de lo que hemos hablado, pero continuamos en inglés. Well, in this section it's more about presenting your country to people from that want to do an exchange. For instance, what would be the experience for a student that wants to do an exchange in the UK or in the US in your university?
My university, Queen Mary University of London, is within the city bounds in London, and London is a very, very diverse place to live in. So no matter what part of the world you're coming from, I would highly recommend, because I've met a lot of my friends who are international students and who've stayed with us for as little as 1 month to as long as a year, and they have found things to do, places to go. Now, a lot of the restaurants or food places wouldn't be up to the same standard, because we don't grow a lot of the traditional ingredients in the UK. But at least there are some representation there for them. So that's on the culture side. On the educational side, choosing Queen Mary, for example, it depends on your course, because there are other universities that are better for others. But Queen Mary is really good for their medicine, engineering as well, hence why I'm there. I absolutely love the university, because we also get a lot of support on all fronts. They really take care of us.
That sounds really nice.
For the University of Cincinnati and the United States, I know recently there's been a lot of drama about the United States, and some people are pretty skeptical about actually going there. But from the international students I know and the experience that they've had, as well as the exchange students that have come in high school and at different ages, people have really enjoyed the experience and really gotten familiar with what you see in the United States outside of just what gets published outside in the rest of the world. And I think in the United States, especially in University of Cincinnati, they do a really good job of connecting you to the companies. And there's many big companies in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a place that's welcoming. And I actually have a friend who is from Monterrey, who is there right now and studying and has had the time of his life, I would say. He recently was just here and told me all of the great spots to see around Monterrey. So thank you to Diego for that. And him and another friend who's from Mexico City, they both came here to Cincinnati and have had very valuable experiences. But it really does depend on how much you want to put into the culture. You can do an exchange for 1 year or more, depending on what you want, 6 months, semester. But either way, I think you're going to find an experience there where you're so interconnected to all of the dynamics that come with being in the city of Cincinnati and feel the culture from there. It's one of the places in the Midwest that actually does kind of represent itself in a way that people would recognize it if you meet someone from Cincinnati outside.
And if you had to say something that someone that's visiting your country should definitely do or visit, what would it be? Like, and also after, maybe you can start thinking what food they should eat.
There is so much to do. Well, perhaps try out our transport system first and foremost. Some people complain about it, but I absolutely love it. We have one of the best transport system in London, in the world. And then traveling out, if you can, to different parts of England and the UK, from Kent to Brighton to Bristol to Scotland even. There is so much to see, different people to meet. In terms of food, it depends on where you are, where you come from in the world and what you're used to. And we have a lot of options, but I would say let's try some Indian cuisine. Let's say if you're not from India, try Indian cuisine. If you are from India, I'd say maybe Afghan cuisine. And if you are from Afghan, exactly. So switch around and everything. Yeah, we have so much to offer.
So there's not like a typical dish that you would say from like the UK that it's more about like the international cuisine that it's in in the UK.
Well, if you want a traditional cuisine from England, then fish and chips is your way to go. Yeah, that's the one. But because we're so diverse, it's like we have the options, and I think that's really, really good.
I'm going to try this really quickly because if not, I forget. Bueno, pues ahorita Manuel nos comentaba que algo que también es importante, que decía, por ejemplo, que en su universidad, que está bien para la gente que quiere estudiar medicina o ingeniería, que por eso también él estudia allá, que pues también le preguntaba más que nada que cómo es la experiencia para un estudiante allá. Y dice que pues viajar, que utilizar el sistema del metro, que es algo que es muy padre allá, que a mucha gente no le gusta, pero que él lo disfruta mucho. Y también que se den la oportunidad de probar la cocina hindú, y si son de la India, se prueben la comida afgana, pero si son de Afganistán, prueben entonces la comida india. Y también, si quieren algo así como típico, que no, o sea, la comida internacional, pues ahí es muy rica y famosa también, pero si quieren algo como lo seguro, que es de allá de Inglaterra, sería fish and chips, que es pescado con papas. Eso sería como un poquito. And what about you, Colin?
Oh, Cincinnati. If you go to Cincinnati, people are insufferable about this place called the Skyline Chili. And I don't know if you've tried chili before, but Skyline is super special for Cincinnati, and it's something you'll find at the first exit once you go and enter the state of Ohio in general. And that's something that's super special. They'll have it for late nights. Here in Mexico, people will go out to Taco Orinoco, for example, after they're having a night out. But in Cincinnati, it's Skyline Chili. That's just what it is. And people love it. And you can go there, enjoy the food. And something else about Cincinnati that's super special, at least on the university, I'm not actually from Cincinnati, I just study there. So one thing I know that's super special to me is if you ever wanted to go to Cincinnati, I would let me know, because then I'll just point you in the right direction and we'll get you connected with the right people. Because I think the people in Cincinnati is what actually puts the whole city together. It's something where people know the different parts of Cincinnati and kind of create profiles based on where you are. And usually it just brings people together. It doesn't separate people apart. And I think that's super special, that the high school experience there, people come connected at Cincinnati. And it is one school that people will go to because you're living in the city. But I think as someone that's not actually from there, you get to see how close people are and how people are able to navigate the experience for themselves, to connect to different people and try new experiences that they haven't had before. I think the university is actually one of the most special parts about the city.
You want me to translate, or you wanna I give your perspective in Spanish?
Yo puedo hacerlo.
¿Sí? Super.
Sí. Pues algo, cuando visitas a Cincinnati, los ciudadanos de allá son insuperables sobre el Skyline Chili. No sé si han probado chili antes, pero es algo muy especial. Por ejemplo, acá en México, si sales por la noche, vas a ir a Tacos Orinoco después, a disfrutar los tacos allá, al calmar, un agua fresca. Y allá en Skyline Chile tenemos los batidos de hielo o de helado. Y creo que también algo muy especial de Cincinnati, pues yo no soy de ahí, soy de Indiana, que está muy cerca, 1.5 horas o algo en camino. Pero lo que me traía a Cincinnati es la gente. La gente cuando fui allá por la primera vez, me invitaron a una clase y no pagué. No sé si es ilegal, pero la disfruté mucho. Y creo que la manera que me invitaron a las conversaciones y me escuchaban, me invitaron a ir con ellos a otros lugares, a restaurantes. Y la experiencia que he tenido allá fue muy especial. Y creo que cuando hablas de Cincinnati, para mí, no puedes olvidar la universidad.
That's nice. I think, bueno, qué bueno que ya lo escucharon de primera mano, así que con Colin. Emmanuel is still learning the
yes, little by little.
But little by little. And, well, we have reached the time for a small break. Hemos llegado al momento de un pequeño corte comercial. Recuerden que pueden también sintonizarnos por YouTube buscando Tech Sounds Radio. Y también pueden ver otros capítulos también de Global Connection que hemos tenido estudiantes de otras partes del mundo. Así que sigan con nosotros. Están escuchando Global Connection aquí en Tech Sounds Radio.
El desafío, la integración cultural, the challenge.
Hola, y estamos ya de vuelta. Están escuchando Global Connection aquí en Tech Sounds Radio y estamos con Emmanuel y Colin, que nos están contando un poquito de su experiencia en el ISummer de Global Business. Así que continuamos. Recuerden que este capítulo en su mayoría es en inglés y durante pequeños momentos al final de cada sección voy a dar un pequeño resumen de lo que estamos hablando. Continuamos con the challenge, el desafío. So in this part of the section, but actually before we jump into this section, Emmanuel wanted to add something for the cuisine.
Yeah, so we were talking more about cuisines and for any international students who would like to visit London and try out something really, really good. And then my personal favorite, Nigerian cuisine. And I like to cook, so if you ever find me anywhere in London and, we get to talking and you would like to try some, I could cook for you, or we could just take you out to really, really good spots in London.
Well, you now have two people that would love to, present their culture, their city. Yeah. You have here Emmanuel and Colin. So, okay, we can later on tell you how to contact them.
There we go.
But or maybe when you see the recording or the post of this, they can put a small message in the post, and you can see their Instagrams there as well.
And LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah. Of course. Well, in this part of the episode, it's about talking. How do you see, or what were the things that were something that before coming were a little bit frightening, or what aspects did you thought, or before going to a place, maybe you think about certain things, but when you arrive, you realize that it's not like that. There's a word for that, but I don't remember right now. Assumptions? Yeah.
Stereotype or stigma.
Exactly the word that I was looking for. The stereotypes. What stereotypes have you had before coming to Mexico and how they have changed your experience or how, well, tell me a little bit about that overall.
Well, a stigma I had, actually a few, but one of the first ones was the weather. I never expected it to be I read about the fact that it was going to be hot, and I was thinking more beachy vibes, light clothes. And then arriving in,
Cancun.
and then lots of rain, especially during the evening times. And it's like, it's just fair because it's similar to how it is in my country, Nigeria. Another one, which unfortunately is a popular one, is about the cartels and so on. So it's like how safe things are for people in general, even especially for women as well. I had that idea that it's not as safe for people, and I would understand that it's like more intense if you're solo traveling. But being part of this program has been different. We've been assigned wonderful people to care for us, and the university has taken great lengths to make sure that we are healthy, and even when we get sick, we have systems in place to take care of us as well. In light of that, I would like to give a shout out to our interns in global business, Valeria and America, for...
Say hi to them.
That's true. For enduring all the stress of trying to take care of us adults, or at least we're supposed to be adults, but sometimes, we're in Mexico, so we goof around a bit.
I'll answer this one in Spanish. Is that okay? Creo que empezando unos estereotipos o cosas que esperaba acá en México, he tenido la suerte de venir acá antes, como conté en Querétaro en marzo, entonces no tuve mucho miedo de lo que iba a pasar acá y yo sé casi todo a esperar, pero fue diferente cuando llegué y fui a comer solo el primer día, y la comida acá en México que ves en el menú es muy diferente de la comida mexicana en los Estados Unidos. La comida de allá tiene más queso, más arroz, más frijoles, todo más.
Los tacos son hasta tostados.
Sí, y con tortilla de harina siempre.
Y sour cream, ¿no?
Sí, la crema también. Ajá. Uh-huh. Es algo difícil acostumbrar, porque cuando vas a un restaurante no sabes lo que estás pidiendo. Como viniendo acá no sabía lo que fueron las arracheras, las gorditas tampoco. Aunque si creías viviendo en México toda su vida, es muy fácil ir a un restaurante y saber lo que quieren, porque casi siempre se piden la misma cosa acá. Es algo que he notado. Tienen favoritos, pero si no sabes nada de qué dice el menú es un poco difícil. Creo que eso fue lo más difícil, pero algo que esperaba y algo que disfruto mucho es cuando levantas y sales por la calle, toda la gente dice hola, buenos días o buenas tardes o siempre buenas noches cuando entras a un Uber. Es algo muy especial que tiene México y también Latinoamérica, que no podemos disfrutar mucho en las diferentes partes del mundo. Creo que en México toda la gente piensa mucho en diferentes personas y el efecto que van a tener en ellos. Toman el tiempo para asegurar que otra persona está bien después o antes de seguir con su propia vida. Y eso es lo que más me gusta de la cultura mexicana.
Did you catch some of the things that...
Only a few words. Yeah.
No, pero sí creo que es muy bonito lo que dices, porque I would say that overall what I have heard from international students in this program is that they say that one of the most special things about Mexico is the people. Mm-hmm. Que lo que comentan muchos estudiantes extranjeros, que lo más importante de su experiencia internacional es la gente que conocen acá. And I think that's really valuable that Mexican people, que la gente mexicana que está escuchando la radio, that they can take that, because I think that's a nice thing to that. Like people feel welcome and they kind of feel a home away from home. Mm-hmm. Y también lo que decía hace rato Manuel es que aquí o sea que México se le hace muy similar a su país natal, Nigeria, y que dice que también el clima que es muy similar. But actually what you were telling before that it normally didn't rain that much. So this year it's raining a lot. But we always say that rain means it's good because actually like I think it was a year ago or two. I think 2 years ago we have a complete drought. Like it was completely, we didn't have water. We had like water shortage, and so we're really glad that finally it's raining. Our prayers have been heard. Mm-hmm. Es que les comentaba que hace tiempo también hubo aquí una sequía, entonces que ahorita realmente no es común que para este momento esté lloviendo tanto, pero que realmente que es muy bueno que esté lloviendo y que lo agradecemos porque pues hace como 2 años creo que fue cuando pues sí tuvimos la sequía que nos cortaban el agua. Y pero pues qué bonito. I think it's really nice hearing that actually some of the aspects that you just have told us about in the challenge are actually part of the next section, the positive impact.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Pues para los que apenas nos están sintonizando, estamos con Colin y Emmanuel, que son de Estados Unidos y Inglaterra y nos están contando un poquito sobre su experiencia de ISummer aquí en el Tecnológico de Monterrey y en los diferentes campuses que han ido. Así que sigan con nosotros, están escuchando Global Connection en Tech Sounds Radio.
Impacto positivo, resultados de una experiencia académica. Positive impact.
And well, this section is about the positive things, but I think you like kind of complimented what you were saying. And actually, I wanted to add, like, I don't know if I think maybe you didn't understand the part, but I think it was really interesting what Colin was saying about the Mexican food in the United States, because a lot of people think, I think overall in Europe, they think that the Mexican food is like in the U.S., right? I think like, I mean like, I don't know if there's a chain Chipotle or like that stuff in other parts. I think in other parts of not only the U.S., I think also in Europe. But I think that's common. Like they think like the tacos sometimes they are crispy and they have like sour cream. But when you get here, it's like the real deal. Uh-huh. So maybe let's talk a little bit about food. How have you found the tacos, for instance? Now that you're here and like you have the experience like from eating tacos in your home countries, and what's the difference from what like you already kind of said that it's totally different, like Colin was telling us. But for instance, for you, Emmanuel, what do you see?
As I mentioned earlier, it's like we don't have a lot of the good ingredients, or even if we do, it's not as good as the ones here in Mexico's. What was I going to say? Sorry. It's not as good as the ingredients are not as good, but they try. And I've spoken a lot with my a friend who is originally from Monterrey, actually. I asked her, like, what's a very, very good Mexican restaurant to try? And she was like, yeah, there's none. But we still have a lot of shops that sell tacos. And like you said, they tend to be more crispy. The tortillas aspect of it tends to be more crispy. But ever since coming here, I've tried a variety of them, from the ones with like dry meat, like dry, almost tasteless meat, to the ones that are like spicy, and I'm like, that's the one I want, because
Nigerian food is also spicy.
Yeah, our definition of spicy tends to be more hot, as opposed to like Mexicans or Indians, who are a bit more broader in their spice.
Yeah. And what do you think were you used to that type of spicy, for instance, or not?
Not to the same scale. Not even close. I mean, my uncle, he's crazy and he can handle all of the heat, but I didn't get those genes. I kind of like my tongue.
Yeah, I think sometimes the thing for me when I eat, like sometimes they tell me like, are you like really Mexican? Because I like spicy, but I don't, there's a certain point that I'm like, this is too spicy that I cannot even enjoy the food, you know? And I think that's the point where I'm like, yeah, I like spicy, but I like also having still the flavor, not my tongue numb and not being able to like, you know, enjoy it. Well, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, now you have been out of the 4 cities, you have been in 3 of them, right? You're just missing one. So you have been starting from
Ciudad de México, Puebla, Monterrey.
and now Monterrey. And what are the different things that you have seen from all of the tech campuses, for instance, and the city?
That is a big question. Mexico City is, I don't want to say more accessible because the traffic there is crazy, but more accessible in the sense that there are a lot more opportunities to do a lot more things. In Puebla, it felt a bit more historical, a bit more cultural and traditional. We visited downtown quite a bit, and I had one of the greatest, very fashionable meals when we were in Puebla, which was the chiles de nogada.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
I
they
love
are.
them.
They are.
They are the
really
typical, I think that the place to get them is Puebla.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually something that we always have for the. Did they tell you about the Independence Day in Mexico?
Ah.
For the September, it's that's why it's red, green, like the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
It has the red with the grenade,
yeah.
the pomegranate, la granada, but it's pomegranate.
Yeah.
The white of the flag with the cream,
And then
the green with the chile.
That's I had an incredible experience eating that, and I didn't know it was also had for Independence Day, so that's incredible. We also, Colin and I went to one of the museums in Puebla, and we spoke to one of the locals about if she actually prefers something different to chiles de nogada.
She loved the mole poblano.
Ah, and did you try it?
I did, yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to try the mole poblano. Yeah.
And was it good?
Mm-hmm.
Did you try chiles en nogada as well?
Sí, me gusta más el mole poblano. That one was I don't think I had the right chile en nogada.
When you went to the same place?
Oh no! I went at a different time. Yeah.
Okay.
He should have told me where he was going.
I apologize. Yeah, next time.
Emmanuel looks like he likes food, so I think you like to go into you're looking for a nice place to eat.
Yeah, we went to a really nice place in downtown Puebla.
Now you know that you need to stick to him to get the next good meal in Monterrey and in Querétaro.
Yeah, just hook on to him. I would say for me, going through the different cities, I think Mexico City was definitely the biggest, and I thought it was super interesting getting to see parts of it. But I don't think a week is enough to see the entire Mexico City.
Yeah.
And especially if you're taking classes. I do appreciate the classes, but I didn't really make it to all the parts I wanted to go to. However, I did really enjoy the times that I did get to see outside of the city. We went to the Museo de Antropología in Chapultepec, and I thought that was super interesting. And I would have loved to go back there, check it out again, because as he was saying, we went to a museum in Puebla, and I think that museum really connected to the museo. So getting to combine all of those ideas and see how the history was different in Puebla and Mexico City was also a little different, and combining all of it together and really forming my ideas on the Mexican culture and the history of what came before we did. And I think out of food, Puebla takes a cake. It does. I mean, chile en nogada, mole poblano, tacos árabe. They're really proud of it too. It's something that in Mexico City you didn't really find people super proud of their food, but you get the chile poblano from Puebla, and people could talk about it all day. I think we were talking to the kind lady at the motel or the museum for, was it 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was quite a while. In Spanish as well. Yeah, I picked up a few Spanish words there. Yeah.
We had our interns calling us, where you guys at? You gotta get over here. And when we went back and found the interns, we tried all sorts of corn goodies. So we tried corn, they used to like corn horchata almost. And then they had corn ice cream.
A corn horchata?
Yeah,
I haven't tried that.
It tasted like an horchata of corn. Very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
The I don't know, there was like a tortilla thing
made out of corn as well. Yeah.
Yep. And then the ice cream. I thought the ice cream was actually pretty good.
It sounds good. Yeah. I love everything with corn. So I think corn ice cream would be good.
Yes. And Puebla was definitely the most cultural city that I found as well. But I think Mexico City has it, but you got to find the right area. I mean, Coyoacán was beautiful, and that's something very close to the campus, which you get to go to if you wanted to come to Mexico City. And also, being in Puebla, I got the opportunity to go on the hike, which is right like 2 hours away from the city. I know it seems kind of far, but it's a nice drive if you're falling asleep and tired like we are in our program. It is a great program, but make sure you get your rest. And we hiked for, I think, 8 hours on a nice Saturday morning, beautiful weather. It didn't rain because it rains at 5 p.m. every day. So I was very glad to do that. In Monterrey so far, the campus is definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Yours, or what would you say? Is it
In terms of the campus, I'd agree as well. Yeah, yeah. They have the peacocks, the deers, and a lot of history here as well.
Yeah, that's for me. It's mesmerizing. Still seeing like the peacocks, the ducks, the ducklings. There's even, I don't know how to say the baby peacocks, but they're baby peacocks. They're so lovely, and the deer, like also. Yeah, I think it's also like a way of you can zone out of your classes while seeing like a little bit of nature.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the mountains, like surrounding mountains? It's different from where you're from in terms of like you don't see mountains, right?
Oh, we talk about, I guess London might be a little different, but Indiana, where I was born, is nothing like this. Sometimes I joke with people when I'm on the bus rides with them, I'm like, seeing all these mountains, this beautiful nature on the highways, and in Indiana, it's just flat, and there's a lot of corn in Indiana being grown, some soybeans too, and that's, I think, the most attractive parts sometimes of the state.
I think it's like the interstellar like type of scenery, or
it's like interstellar. Yeah, that's kind of what we see traveling through the highways in Indiana. But then we come in here, and I'm on the bus. I'm like, hey, see Monterrey in the background. This looks like Indiana. They're like, really? I said, no.
They're gonna expect, if they go to Indiana, you're gonna be like, hey, but Colleen told us like it looked like Monterey.
The mountains here are absolutely beautiful. They're a sight to see. We don't see things like this in London. I think if we want to look at really high structures, we look at our skyscrapers, and that's about it. But getting to see like a massive mountain and just the background of your view, it's like it changes your perspective. It's like I feel so small, but at the same time, it's like this is beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's so lovely. I think like overall, I think the most beautiful part of Monterrey, I would say, are the mountains, like their landmarks, because nature, you feel so, like in a way hugged by nature. What do you think you would take from each place that you have gone so far?
Like the best part of each city? Oh man. Starting at Mexico City, it's there's so much. There's so much, and there's so much variety. You could go in one part of Mexico City and find this, say a really nice market and some really nice places to hang out, and then you go, say, to Chapultepec, you have the beautiful nature and the beautiful forest, and then you go to Roma and you find all this beautiful cuisine and beautiful architecture, and I think that's the great part of Mexico City. What do you think?
I 100% agree with that. And as you said, an example of like the variety of things you can do, and I think I'm going to choose this as my takeaway from the city itself, is Lucha Libre.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't believe I forget.
Yeah, we went to one of the showings on like the third day we were in Mexico, and it was so incredible. I'm not usually the type to be in like football or like soccer environments where it's like high stakes and everyone's screaming and enjoying themselves. But this was a really good experience into the Mexican culture. Yeah, different kinds of people came out, and we were all with different people.
All personalities. Right?
Exactly. And so that would be like takeaway from the Ciudad de Mexico. Maybe I could add one more.
Yeah.
It's like the that's where we went to the Museum of Memories, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah, that was.
Memorias y Terminancia.
Yeah, see, that was very impactful, and I'm glad that I was present there. In terms of tech, in Ciudad de Mexico, one thing we did was bachata.
Yeah,
that
we had a bachata
yeah,
class.
we had the bachata class, and I was challenged. It's like I love dancing, but I don't know how to dance, so I was challenged, and it was lovely.
Our coach for that bachata class was like the typical, it's stereotypical almost, fierce Mexican mom. And she was just really planning on teaching us bachata. And I don't think I would have learned without her energy.
That's so nice. So you actually learned a little bit of bachata.
Yeah, we could do the pasos.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
And what about Puebla?
In Puebla, the main takeaway has to be the food. And I would say the mountains, but then I got here, so I can't say the mountain anymore.
For me, for Puebla, I would say because we visited a lot of cathedrals and churches that were extremely beautiful, and it got me thinking about my religion, because I am Christian, and I was thinking about like how a lot of the churches came about in Mexico, if there was like any, or if there's still any animosity between the people and, you know, the way they see the church, because also in Puebla we went to see a lot of cultural and religious Latin American religious practices as well, and I was like, the combination of this would strike a lot of controversy, and I was kind of curious to see what the history was like, because there was one church we visited in Puebla that was like built on top of a pyramid. So
the cathedral in Mexico City is also built I don't know if you had the chance to go.
No,
but the cathedral was built in the major temple of Mexico City of
You gotta go back.
exactly. There's so much to do. So thought-provoking things like that is what I tend to like and dwell in sometimes. So that would be one of the takeaways from Puebla. The food as well, as Colin has mentioned. It was incredible. And then for tech in Puebla, it was the first time we did like a residence, because in Ciudad de Mexico we stayed in a hotel, but this time we did a residence, so it was a different experience. The university actually, it's like we felt like the university was definitely taking care of us, because, you know, they gave us food vouchers, and who doesn't love food? But yeah.
Although the campus during the summer, it feels pretty empty because there's not many students. On one hand, that's pretty sad because you don't get to know that many people. But on the other hand, it's really nice because at night or after dinner, you could go over to, say, the basketball gymnasium and shoot around. And we met so many people from different places in Mexico. And I love playing basketball. It's one of my favorite ways to exercise. Then they have the gym, which unfortunately was under maintenance, but that's what basketball's for.
And well, now Monterrey.
This is only the second day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like your first impression so far.
Oh,
we have only 2 minutes. Well, quickly, what would it be?
that is a loaded question. The view.
The view?
The view, yeah. Especially the view from the 7th floor or 6th floor of the library, the highest floor.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really wonderful.
People might not like this answer outside of Monterrey, but I would say the Regio accent. I love it. I love it. It's so fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Like provechito. And just small stuff, the way they talk. So they talk a lot faster. And it's so fun to listen to. Sometimes hard to stay caught up, but I love it.
Nos comentaban como que un poquito de cuál ha sido lo positivo que han llevado de aquí, de su experiencia en México, que han estado ahorita, de las 4 semanas que llevan, primero fueron a la Ciudad de México, luego continuaron en Puebla y ahorita están en Monterrey y próximamente, la semana que entra, se van a ir a Querétaro. Y pues un poquito de lo que les ha gustado más de cada ciudad, que ha sido, pues, por ejemplo, en la Ciudad de México, los museos, en Puebla la comida y en Monterrey el acento regio, por decirles un poco de lo que estábamos platicando. Y pues ya, ahora sí que lo último, like the last thing that I always ask in the program is, what would be a word that would describe your ISummer program? One word that would be wrap up the experience.
For me, it's adventure.
Adventure?
For me, it would probably be immersion.
Immersion. Well, thank you so much, Colin and Emmanuel, for being part of Global Connection.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Caro.
Yeah, muchas gracias.
Of course, and we also say, like, in your language, goodbye. Well, in English would be, but it will be the same. So goodbye. But you also told that you are from Nigeria.
Yeah.
So how would you say goodbye?
Because Nigeria has multiple languages, but I would say in Yoruba it would be Odabo.
Udabo.
Odabo.
Udabo.
Yeah, Odabo.
So goodbye and Udabo.
Goodbye.
Odabo.
Udabo. Nos vemos en la siguiente emisión de Global Connection aquí en Tech Sounds Radio.
Hasta aquí Global Connection. Te esperamos en nuestra siguiente emisión, el miércoles a las 11 de la mañana, solo en Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM.